The most challenging thing about playing Wilder was probably letting him go at the end of a day of shooting. It's such an intense journey and an intense character that sometimes, it took me so long to get into that persona and the mindset of Wilder that at the end of the day, when we shouted cut and that was the end of the day, it took a little longer to brush him off. So that was the challenge with playing him, was leaving him on the film set, which more often than not I didn't do. I'm usually quite good at doing that, but on this one I didn't. So Wilder sort of lived with me for the majority of the shoot, which was about 7.5 weeks. So I was truly exhausted by the end of the shoot because of that, I think. I may be a bastard, madam, but I'm a polite bastard. No, I didn't see Wilder as a villain. I don't think he is. I think he is a man who has strong beliefs. He's a defender of his class. He is a man who sees that he's entitled to certain things. I sort of quite like Wilder. I think he shows true humanity, even through the craziness where he ends up, which is unexplainable in a way. I think what happens to him, only he could tell you why he does what he does and why he feels the way he does. But his environment, I guess, has sort of carved his persona slightly. But there's a lot of sanity to Wilder, and throughout the whole, crazy story that we're telling in High Rise, you see moments where Wilder, even covered in blood and a shattered human being, showing all his flaws and imperfections, can still see the world in quite a plain way. He sees it in black and white, and is described by Laing as probably the most sanest person in the building. So he's very interesting. He's very complicated, but there's more to him than you first think. How much of High Rise do you find in today's society? Depends what sort of life you lead and sort of where you live and what you observe. But I think there are parallels to what we see in the human interaction in this movie. We see nowadays probably even more extreme in certain instances throughout the world that we see throughout the media. I'd like to think that a lot of things that happen in the High Rise in our film wouldn't happen generally in our society. But what this film does, I think it makes you question yourself. And if you were put in this position, how would you react? And which character in the film would you be most like? And that's what's interesting about this movie. It's an observation of society and human nature when rules are stripped away and primal instinct becomes the priority. What would you do? So if I could speak to J.G. Ballard and ask him anything after playing this role, I would probably want to know whether I got it right. Did I get anything right? Weirdly, I met his daughter about a week ago, and she said he would have liked what I did, which is a nice thing. I channeled a bit of Oliver Reed, an actor who was very sort of high profile in the 70s. We remember him very well from a lot of things he did. And I sort of channeled a lot of him into my character, and apparently Ballard was a big Ollie Reed fan. So somehow I landed with the right person. That's good. He's a predator. Predatorial is my first word. Agitator. And terrifying. You're right. He is dangerous and very unique in the way he tells a story and makes a film. His body of work shows you that. He chooses quite difficult subject matter and can take something that can be quite dark and find some humor in it, which is quite an achievement in itself. This movie probably brings all of Ben's best abilities into one film and shows his cleverness, really, in telling a story which is an adaptation of a book that was many regarded as an unfilmable book. And somehow Ben and Amy Jump, the writer, managed to do it. And do it not just to their interpretation, but to an immense amount of loyalty to J.G. Ballard, the writer, and the book, which we know there are a lot of fans of the book and of Ballard. So he does push you further than the average director. He has the ability to do that because he's a very nice man. So when you feel, and you trust him. So if you trust a director, you sometimes will, you'll jump a little further. And that's what he does. And so it was a really refreshing experience for me as an actor to do that. And I'd work with him again tomorrow if he asked me. So.